What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Universal Mastery. Welcome back to my public YouTube channel. What is the subject of our today's video? This is a subject that I know people want to hear a little bit more about. And the reason why I know that is because on one of my more so recent videos, there was a comment specifically under the video that was discussing the big agenda that's taking place on our planet with Qlippothic programming. Somebody left a comment that said, how about you talk about the healing within the Qlippoth rather than, or maybe as well as, because the content that I usually make is in regards to, how the Qlippoth is used in its more so destructive manner. But there is a whole nother side to Qlippothic evolution and initiation when it comes to the darker spiritual sciences. And that is definitely something that is worth talking about because it's extremely significant. And there is a direct connection between healing and gaining power. These two things are not separate by any means. So this is exactly what I'm going to be talking about within this video. Whoever it was that left that comment, I appreciate you very much, okay? You inspired this video. And for all of you that are listening, if you have other video ideas, feel free to drop down in the comment section and leave them. And if I feel like it's a good topic to cover, I will absolutely do so. But once again, if you want to know a little bit more about the underworld and the real healing that is involved with it, then this is definitely a video that is meant for you. So you have one thing to do, and that is to stay tuned. All right, so let me first start with introducing myself, just in case you don't know who I am. My name is Jeremiah Schwartz. I am a professional occultist. I am fully initiated in the entirety of the Kabbalistic tree. I'm studied when it comes to the 22 major arcana of the tarot deck. And I'm also studied when it comes to planetary energies in direct association with astrology. All right. So, as I've mentioned, in other videos, you've heard me talk about it. I've talked about how the Qlippoth, once again, for those of you that don't know about the Qlippoth, just very generally speaking, it is the darker side of the tree of life, also referred to as the tree of death. And this is the system of initiation that individuals who are negatively polarizing travel through. And this is what is literally considered hell or the underworld. Okay, and everyone, no matter who you are and what you are, everyone has a connection to a Qlippothic aspect of the universe. It's the more so negative part. It's the unconscious mind. Okay, everyone has one. Okay, it's just that some people utilize more of that unconscious than others and also use it in different ways. It just depends. So that's just to put that out there. But I've talked about the Qlippoth and I talked about how destructive it is, right? I've talked about how it's used in the world around us to maintain control and maintain certain levels of order and structure even. Controlled destruction, okay? So yeah, that's all real stuff that takes place. It's what we're all living within and we experience it on a daily basis. But there is an aspect to the Qlippoth that is in direct association with how you gain power within the Qlippoth that connects to healing, okay? You may hear me say this like, as a black magician and you're thinking, what are you talking about? Healing? You're a black magician. What are you talking about healing? Okay, you're not one of those love light workers. You're not, one of those woo-woo, I'm here to heal everybody type of people. And that's funny if you think that. But I know a lot of you listening understand the necessity for healing, because a lot of you have a very mature perspective, a very matured mindset. And it's important. But yes, the Qlippothic is directly connected to deep healing and transformation. So the entire process, this is something that not a lot of people talk about. One, because a lot of people don't know about the Qlippothic and they don't understand it. But even for people that do, it is easy to get caught up in like the demon aspect, the archdemonic forces, the gatekeepers, the, challenge, bust through the challenge, make it through, get to the other side, stay focused. It's easy to stay focused on that, but it's a whole nother story when you actually get honest with what the Qlippothic journey is really like. And when you find yourself initiating through that Qlippothic tree, you soon come to terms with the reality that it's a very big healing process. That's literally what it is. It's a healing process. The entire Qlippothic journey is revolved around destroying the artificial aspects of yourself, forcing you to let go of them, putting you and your back against the wall, literally making you. There's no choice. Once you enter into that tree, there's no choice. You have to make sacrifice specifically to the artificial aspects of your own being, which involves relationships, mental blockages, routines, habits, addictions. All of these things are going to be cracked down, leaving you in a space of loneliness, a space of emptiness, where you realize within yourself you are lacking. You realize within yourself there's something that you don't fully know about your true self. And it takes time to integrate that state of silence and further connect back to your true self. And this is extremely healing in nature. And as I said, this is exactly what the Qlippothic is all about. It is a big healing initiatory journey. As you're going through the Qlippothic, you are becoming more and more in alignment with your true self, because as I said, the deeper you go, you're shedding more and more of those artificial aspects of yourself that are attached to the system that either you're aware of or unaware of. And that process obviously is extremely painful. And that's the alchemy of the healing that takes place within the Qlippothic. It's painful. It's even quite traumatic. I don't know anyone. I mean, there's very few people that I know that have fully initiated through the Qlippothic, but I do know people. I've seen people do it successfully. I've seen people completely fail, and I haven't heard from them since. So I've seen both sides, and I have not yet seen someone who's successfully initiated through the Qlippothic that does not have that journey embedded permanently within their consciousness, which means that it was so significant, it was so transformative in their life that it literally leaves an imprint on your consciousness that you will never forget. And I'm speaking from personal experience. I mean, those of you that know me, I talk about my Qlippothic initiations quite often. It is one of the most profound things that I've ever been through in my entire life, and I will never forget about it. It changed me completely. It allowed me to get to where I am right now, making this video, being the person that I am. Okay? So with that being said, once again, it is a healing process, healing that pain, healing that trauma. And you are learning, the more you get broken down and the more you're dealing with that death energy, you're learning more about yourself as being the source. You're starting to see yourself less through the lens of an ego or an identity, and you're starting to perceive the being as being connected to the all, the source, and all other things, which are all connected to the source as well. So this process, as I said, extremely painful, traumatic, but extremely healing. I mean, this is one of the deepest levels of healing that a soul can go through. Think about it, dealing with the negative tree, dealing with the aspects of spiritual evolution that are negatively charged, which inherently means they are the most challenging aspects of spiritual self-development and growth. You can only imagine, due to the cosmic laws of balance within nature, the more you're diving into that challenge, the more you're breaking down, the more you're processing, the more power you're gaining. Now, the more power you're gaining is in direct connection with you getting closer to the source itself. Of course, the source is the infinite all. It's the essence of what power is. So that is how you become powerful within the Qlippothic. You are healing your way into power. Okay? And it requires you, look, this is like, you know, sometimes I feel like when people book consultation calls with me, they don't always understand or they don't always know, you know, my advice or my perspectives, and they don't really know how I perceive things, because I think a lot of people view my content and they hear me talk about a lot of concepts and things of that nature, and I'm clearly very passionate about what I speak on. And I have like a sort of like a fiery energy when I put that information out there, and I'm aware of that. But oftentimes, you know, when someone books consultation calls with me and they have these questions about like certain, you know, which entity does this and which entity does that, and, you know, how can I have this specific ritual or this specific spell to do this thing? A lot of the times my response is deeper. It's more, my response to those people goes deeper than just that specific tool or that specific ritual or, you know, whatever it is in that nature. It goes deeper. It's more of like, you know, why are you doing that? What does that mean to you? How is this helping you learn more about yourself? Are you able to see yourself as the source when you're doing that, recognizing that what you're trying to manipulate is also you? And once again, just refocusing the awareness on your personal growth. So I do that a lot with people, and I think people sometimes expect me to say, oh yeah, this is the entity, this is the exact entity that you want to connect with and do this specific ritual. And look, I do these things. I do connect people with entities. I do give people advice on certain tools and rituals and things of that nature. But the point is that a lot of the times I go way deeper than that. Okay, I go to the core of why the person wants to do what it is that they're doing. And I try to uncover that, because that's the healing process. Why do you feel led to manipulating this person using psychic warfare? Or why do you feel led to, you know, moving a certain event in this specific way that you want? Why do you feel led to, you know, going and hanging out with this person or being in a relationship with this person and, I don't know, getting them to fall in love with you using magic? Why? You know, what's inside of you, and what is your soul trying to get you to do? Because realistically, I don't think your soul really cares about you casting a love spell on someone that's not even meant to be in your life. Or I don't think your soul really wants you to spend all your time and energy trying to reverse some sort of psychic warfare that was done on you. I think your soul understands that you are the all, and that at all times, the goal is evolutionary progress. And to make evolutionary progress, there has to be deep healing. But the deep healing only starts when you start to reflect and go deep inside of the self. So that's why my response is always, what's inside of you? What is your intuition telling you? What do you plan on getting out of this, and why do you want that result? What do you think that's going to do for you? And oftentimes when the person responds, it sounds a little bit silly to them. They say, you know what? Yeah, I guess that is kind of like strange. Like, why was I wasting my time doing that? So that's the point that I'm trying to say. Like, the reason why I go deep and I try to go into the person's soul to draw their awareness to themselves is because that is the nature of Qlippothic initiation. That is something I myself had to firsthand experience. And I didn't know that getting into the Qlippoth. I went in, power hungry. I went in egotistical as a motherfucker. Okay? So I went in with all these preconceived ideas and conceptions and who I thought I was and how I was going to do things. And lo and behold, I realized that's not what the Qlippoth was about. Yes, it's about power, but power is a response to healing. It is the effect of healing. The healing is the cause. So I started to realize that was true. And that's never a comfortable thing because it usually comes with a burnout, which I definitely experienced many times over. But every burnout I went through, and every time I had to shed my ego and let go of something, I realized a new truth. I realized a new perspective. And it took me time to really formulate, truth be told, the strength and the courage to completely surrender and fall into my true self. And that didn't actually happen until the crossing of the abyss for myself. But I did. I did fully surrender. And that was the essence of healing. The best way I can describe that feeling was a dissolving into the unknown, trusting the universe completely and utterly, not knowing how am I going to navigate this circumstance? How am I going to get through this? And not necessarily needing the logic to find my way out or the rationale, but more so trusting that I'm there for a reason and trusting that these things are working in my favor because of some higher alchemical transformation that maybe consciously I'm unaware of. So these are the things that you have to rely on. These are the things that you have to depend on to go through very deep level healing when it comes to dealing with the Qlippoth or dealing with the underworld. And if you don't have that awareness, I mean, you can imagine you're going to be setting yourself up for certain degrees of failure getting into that level of initiation, because it's not just all about being power hungry. It's not all about just, I'm going to dominate and I'm going to push my way through everything. It's a surrender. It's a healing. It is a feminine process. It is a receptive journey of reflection, looking inwards towards the self. That's literally why on the Kabbalistic tree, the first sphere of initiation is ruled by the moon. You have to self-reflect even to enter into your initiatory journey. If you do not self-reflect, or you cannot self-reflect, you're not even going to initiate the spiritual transformations. It starts with the moon. Okay, and guess what? It starts with the moon, and we could even go as far as saying it ends with the moon. It starts with Yesod and it ends with the high priestess connecting from Tifereth into Kether. High priestess being ruled by the moon. Okay? So that is the reality of this underworld journey. It is a healing process, and if you go into it with the right awareness and you go into it with the right perspective, ready to heal, ready to find your true self, ready to see those mysteries of the universe and how everything is truly connected to the source, the infinite source, and you are that source. You literally listening to this right now, you are the source. I mean, I want you to really take that and try to understand the power that is behind that right now. You are the source itself, and everything around you is also that same source. Now, some people emanate more of that source because of that self-awareness. And therefore, those people are more powerful. But everyone has the source within them, whether they're aware of it or not. And these are things that when you really put into play, you live your life differently. So when you're dealing with your daily life and someone cuts you off in traffic or something unfortunate happens to you, you're looking at the situation from the source view. You're realizing this is the source. This situation is the source, and this is only a manifestation of my spiritual evolution. So why am I going to completely try to control my logic here and say that this shouldn't be happening or that this is wrong? Because if it happened for a reason that's based in the source. There's a reason why it showed up. And this perception that I'm discussing right now is healing. This perception comes from deep self-reflection and healing the self. You're not going to perceive reality in this way unless you've done a lot of healing. You're going to yell at the person who cuts you off. You're going to complain as to why situations are happening that seem to be working against you. But you're not going to understand that those situations were literally the perfect alchemical vibrational formulas to get you to become a more self-aware version of yourself, leading to more power in the long run. Therefore, your own ignorance just cut you off from power. Okay? And this, once again, is what the Qlippothic teaches. I don't think there's any other form of spiritual initiation, spiritual self-development on our planetary sphere that is more intense than Qlippothic initiation. It takes a certain type of person to be ready to step into that power within themselves. It takes a certain type of person to say, you know what, I've been through so much in my life that I don't see anything else that is worth doing other than pursuing this path and going literally into the depths of the underworld and then rising as a phoenix as I come out on the other side in touch with my true self and in the consciousness of source. Okay? And this is the type of mindset that you truly should have getting into the Qlippothic initiations. And if you don't have it, it will be fleshed out of you. And if it doesn't get fleshed out of you, who knows? You may end up in a situation you don't want to be in. Okay? Because as I said, this process has a momentum to it. It really has a momentum to it. And when that momentum unleashes, there is no turning back. The only way forward is through. Not turning around, not moving around, not going over, but through. Okay? So, in my perspective, the people that have gone through the entire Qlippothic initiations are some of the most healed people I've ever spoke to in my life. They're so well-rounded. Okay, they're people that will literally listen to understand, and they see things from all angles. They see things from different perspectives, and they understand the nature of reality. They understand it's not just left and it's not just right. They understand everything works together. So there's just a balanced nature to these types of beings, and of course they've achieved that consciousness because they came face to face with their own darkness, with their own mental barriers, blockages, addictions, depression, isolation, terrible relationships. They came face to face with all of these different things and had to feel the emotion that was behind it, that was holding it in place. And that takes a level of strength, real strength to go through. That is what real strength is. Real strength is not being strong in the sense of like, oh, I'm going to conquer this and get through it necessarily. Real strength is recognizing that you're going through something that is extremely challenging to go through, and you are accepting that, and you're accepting the fact that it's happening for a reason, trying to show you something about yourself, and you sit with that emotion to then feel it. That is what real strength is. And that strength is power. Okay? And once again, these things are absolutely tied to the Qlippothic tree. So anyone who is a full Qlippothic initiate is absolutely a healed being. This is contradictory to what a lot of people think when it comes to Satanism, when it comes to black magic. And I can understand that because there are a lot of people that give the real Qlippothic black magicians a bad rap. Just like with any other field. It's no different. Okay, it's a common pattern. But as I said, there are many individuals, if we're going to look at it in a more so microscopic way, that have successfully initiated through the Qlippot. There are many, thousands upon thousands. And these people literally control the planets, myself included. On a psychic level, we have the strongest influence on planetary circumstances, planetary events, and being able to shift the mass collective consciousness. And one may think, oh, these people are so corrupt, they're doing evil, they're all bad, they're just egotistical maniacs, they don't know what they're doing, we need to change the world, we need to make it a better place. When in reality, these are very, very healed individuals. These individuals know exactly what they're doing, and they know exactly why they're doing it. They know it to such a deep level that it's out of an act of love. Okay? Let me try to get this message across. The corruption that you see in the world today, what if I told you it was out of an act of love to challenge the soul of you, to challenge the soul of the mass collective to wake up? Wake up. How else are you going to wake up until you get slapped in the face, until you get the water thrown on you? Okay, or else you're just going to stay still. You're going to stay stagnant, and that's not love. That is not someone who cares about you, that is going to allow you and just continue to let you live a life that is not in your best interest and feed it. Okay, so once again, real black magicians, real negatively polarized beings are literally some of the most healed beings on our planet, because we understand the deeper crevices in nature of the unconscious mind, which most are afraid to dive into. That's why we run the planet as of right now, okay? So this was the information that I really wanted to get out there. I wanted to express this because a lot of people have misconceptions about the tree of death. They don't know what they're getting themselves into. They're coming from the wrong foundational place. And this video can act as a wake-up call for those of you that are being drawn in for the wrong reasons. Now, obviously, if you still get drawn in, it is what it is. That's how it functions. Okay? And once again, I just making sure it's understood. As I said, a lot of people have perceptions that the people that are the corrupt beings on the planet, the people that are behind all the scenes, orchestrating all the matrix systems and mechanics. A lot of people think these guys are egotistical, they're clueless, they're just doing it because they're money hungry. And yeah, those things are not those things, but the money aspect is a part of it because that's the service to self nature. But as I said, these are not clueless people. These are not egotistical people. These are highly tuned intellectual beings that understand their true self and what their role is to play for the mass collective. Take that to the bank because I promise you, as of right now, you're not going to hear this information anywhere else. I mean, really, who else do you know is talking about this? Other people are going to listen, oh, he's wrong. That goes against our agenda of trying to bring positivity. I'm telling you the truth. And if you don't want to agree with it, by all means, whatever, but that is what it is. All right. So take that with you and understand it for what it actually is. Now, with that being said, if you enjoyed this content, come down here and hit the thumbs up button. Also come down here and hit the notification bell because I post videos as often as I can. And clearly, with content like this, you absolutely do not want to be missing out. Come down here and hit the subscribe button. If you're not yet subscribed, you're making a big mistake because by subscribing, you're further linking into the contents. There really is a psychic component that goes behind that. So go ahead and subscribe. Now, I'm also going to allow you to know within yourself that you have my full permission to copy and paste this link and send it out to anybody, okay? My intention is to spread this content like a wildfire, so go ahead and do so. Now, I'm going to take your awareness to literally the most important link in the YouTube description. It's the first link at the very top. You cannot miss it. This is where you can join my Patreon. On my Patreon, I have an entire vault of exclusive occult content. None of this content is on my public YouTube channel, and that is for many intentional reasons. Many intentional reasons, okay? At this point, it's like a secondary YouTube channel, except everything that's on there is more advanced and more personal than what you're getting on my public channel right here. So definitely look into it. First link. Once you go to tier number 2, you're gaining access to an entire magic training course, which I feel like would be extremely valuable, especially if you're a beginner occultist and you're looking for a structured format to follow to start developing your psychic capabilities. Then as you move into tier 3, this is the most popular tier of the Patreon, and that speaks for itself. This is the Universe.B Vampire Service. So what this is a service that I perform on the 29th of every single month that has one, and it's designed to completely change your energetic structure to be more so Universe.B dominant. What that means is more so negatively polarized, service to self-oriented. What that does is it allows you to exist within the darker energy areas and locations of the multiverse itself without inherently getting harmed by them, but rather developing knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and potential power from them instead. Now, it also gives these individuals an ability to be more so receptive to their unconscious and subconscious minds, which is feminine in nature and very healing in nature. And it also gives these individuals an ability to pull in energy from dark energy and chaos within their environment to transmute into their own power and evolutionary potential. All of this is accessible if you are a tier 3 member or higher. We'll leave that there. Now, as you go into tier number 4, you can't miss it. This is the new top tier of the Patreon. With this tier, you gain access to everything from the previous tiers, including the Vampire Service, but you also get additional content. You get psychic predictions on a monthly basis that are based on your personal zodiac sign. So I use a tarot card and I use my own oracle card from the deck that I've created myself. And once again, the goal is to give you a perspective on the initiatory energies of every single month that we go into so you can better navigate them. That is all within tier number 4 within the Patreon. First link in the YouTube description. I'll leave it there. With that being said, I want to give a special shout out to everyone who is a Patreon member. I appreciate all of you. And most importantly, big shout out to all of you. Okay? Now, as we move into the second link below, you can't miss it. This is where you can book a very unique tarot card reading from me. This is a tarot card reading that I promise you've never received before. And the reason I say that is because I understand the Kabbalistic tree way more than the average person. So what that means is I can literally pinpoint exactly where you are on that Kabbalistic tree. I can tell you what you're feeling, experiencing, and going through in the present moment, and then what to expect moving into your near and your long-term future based on your positioning on that Kabbalistic tree itself. All right? I've done well over 1,000 readings. I do a reading every single day. I've received tons of valuable feedback. I've been doing this for well over a year as well. If this is something you want to book, definitely consider it. Second link below is where you can. Now, also within that same second link below, you have an option to book a one-on-one call with me. I love doing these one-on-one calls. So this is for individuals that have been consuming my content or have been doing some sort of occult practices or other types of studies, and you have questions that you want somebody like myself to answer and hear my perspective on, because most likely I've experienced what it is that you're going through or what you will be going through. Okay, so if you want to book a one-on-one, that's also within the second link. Now, if you're someone who's really taking your practice to that next degree, I have mentorship options. I have a 6-week mentorship and I have a 3-month mentorship. Okay, this is amazing for individuals that are getting into their practice more along the lines of initiation. Okay, so once again, all of these different services, if you're interested, are in that second link below. We'll leave it there. Now, as you move into the third link below, you can't miss it. This is where you can join and become a YouTube member. As you become a YouTube member, you're getting access to many different types of benefits, but most importantly, you're getting access to what is called the Psychic Warfare Emoji Program. So what this is this is a sequence of emojis that I've designed myself that are based on real occult principles, and you can use them in a specific configuration, link in the name of a target, hit enter, and it will actually cause psychic effects to the target of your choice. This is the most simple form of utilizing psychic warfare through the internet platform. And there are well over 2,000 posts where people have already used it. And there are even people right now taking advantage of it. So if this is something that you want to use for yourself, you can definitely do so. Third link below, you click it and then you join and become a YouTube member. Then you'll have access. All right, we'll wrap it up there. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate all of you very, very much. And I hope you all have an amazing rest of the day or night, wherever you are. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.